Welcome to G Fun Facts Online. A new specter haunts the global strategic landscape. A weapon that moves faster than sound, defies traditional defenses, and threatens to upend the delicate balance of power. This is the age of the hypersonic weapon, a technological marvel and a strategic nightmare rolled into one. Traveling at speeds of Mach 5 and beyond, that's more than a mile per second, these weapons are not just fast. They are agile, elusive, and poised to revolutionize the very nature of warfare. Today, we delve deep into this next generation of defense, exploring the intricate technology behind hypersonic weapons, the global race to master them, and the profound implications for our future. The quest for hypersonic flight isn't new. Its roots stretch back to the German V-2 rocket of World War II. While a ballistic missile, the V-2 was the first man-made object to touch the hypersonic threshold, exceeding Mach 5 during its final descent. This laid the groundwork for Cold War ballistic missiles, which are themselves inherently hypersonic, reaching speeds of up to Mach 23 as they re-enter the atmosphere. But the defining feature of modern hypersonic weapons isn't just their raw speed, it's their ability to maneuver within the atmosphere. This crucial distinction is the focus of today's technological arms race. The post-war era saw a surge in high-speed research. In the 1950s and 60s, a series of experimental aircraft, or X-planes, systematically pushed the boundaries of flight. The crown jewel of this era was the North American 1015 program. This rocket-powered aircraft was dropped from the wing of a B-52 bomber and flew 199 missions. It shattered records, reaching an unofficial speed of Mach 6.7 over 500 miles per hour, and an altitude that touched the very edge of space. The X-15 was a flying laboratory. It provided invaluable data on hypersonic aerodynamics, the incredible thermal stress on materials like its Inconel X superalloy skin, and pioneered technologies like reaction control systems for maneuvering in the thin upper atmosphere. While the X-15 was rocket-powered, parallel research explored air-breathing engines for sustained hypersonic flight. The ultimate goal was the scramjet, a supersonic combustion ramjet. The challenge is often likened to keeping a match lit in a hurricane, sustaining combustion in an airflow moving faster than the speed of sound. Despite early successes, interest waned for a time. But the strategic imperatives of the 21st century have rekindled the fire, leading to the operational weapons we see today. So what are these weapons? Modern hypersonic weapons are broadly divided into two categories. First, we have hypersonic glide vehicles, or HGVs. These are the more mature of the two technologies. An HGV is an unpowered vehicle, boosted to a high altitude, often between 40 and 100 kilometers, by a conventional ballistic missile. After the rocket burns out, the HGV detaches and glides to its target. Unlike a traditional ballistic warhead, which follows a predictable high-arching path, an HGV flies on a much flatter, lower-altitude trajectory. Combined with its ability to perform significant pull-up and sideways maneuvers, its flight path becomes terrifyingly unpredictable. It can fly around and under the engagement zones of traditional missile defense systems, all while traveling at speeds that can exceed Mach 20. The second category is hypersonic cruise missiles, or HCMs. These are far more complex. An HCM uses an advanced, air-breathing scramjet engine to maintain hypersonic speed for most of its flight. It's first accelerated to around Mach 4 or 5 by a rocket booster, at which point the scramjet takes over. A scramjet has no moving parts like a jet engine. It uses the shockwaves generated by its own incredible speed to compress incoming air for combustion. This allows the missile to cruise at a sustained hypersonic speed, typically in the Mach 5 to 10 range. Unlike the unpowered glide of an HGV, an HCM is powered for its entire journey, allowing for more flexible flight paths. They also tend to fly at much lower altitudes, using the terrain itself to mask their approach from radar. This technological leap has ignited a fierce competition between the United States, Russia, and China, each viewing hypersonic dominance as critical for future military power. Russia has been very vocal about its capabilities, presenting them as a direct response to U.S. missile defense systems. They claim their Avangard system is operational. This is a hypersonic glide vehicle, launched atop an intercontinental ballistic missile that Russia says can travel at Mach 27 and make sharp, evasive maneuvers, making it essentially impossible to intercept. Then there's the Kinzhal, an air-launched missile that has been in service since 2017. Launched from a MiG-31K jet, it reportedly reaches speeds of Mach 10. While some experts debate its classification as a true hypersonic weapon due to its more ballistic trajectory, its speed and air-launched platform make it a formidable threat. It has been used by Russia in the conflict in Ukraine. Finally, Russia is developing the Zircon, a ship-launched hypersonic cruise missile designed as a powerful anti-ship weapon. China, meanwhile, has invested enormous resources into its hypersonic program as a cornerstone of its strategy to deter U.S. military intervention in the Western Pacific. Their DF-17 missile, first shown in a 2019 parade, is specifically designed to carry a hypersonic glide vehicle. With a range of up to 500 kilometers and speeds between Mach 5 and Mach 10, this road-mobile missile is difficult to find before launch. It's believed to be incredibly accurate, posing a significant threat to U.S. military bases and aircraft carriers in the region. The United States, despite conducting much of the foundational research, has recently been seen as playing catch-up in fielding operational weapons. The Pentagon has now made hypersonics a top priority. The Joint Army-Navy program, called Conventional Prompt Strike, aims to field a common hypersonic glide vehicle that can be launched from both land and sea. The Air Force has had a more challenging time. Its AGM-183 AARRW, a boost glide weapon, faced a series of test failures, and its future is uncertain. However, the Air Force is also developing the Hypersonic Attack Cruise Missile, or HACM. This is a scramjet-powered weapon, seen as a more affordable and numerous option for targeting a wider range of threats. The development of these weapons pushes the very limits of physics and engineering. The first major hurdle is the tyranny of heat. As a vehicle travels at hypersonic speeds, air friction and compression generate unimaginable temperatures, potentially reaching 3,000 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt steel. To withstand this inferno, scientists are developing exotic materials. Ultra-high temperature ceramics, or UHTCs, can maintain their structure at these extreme temperatures and are used for critical areas like the nose cone and wing edges. Another key material is ceramic matrix composites, which embed ceramic fibers in a ceramic matrix to create a material that is both heat-resistant and tough. For hypersonic cruise missiles, the scramjet engine itself is the key challenge. It's elegant in concept, but fiendishly complex. Fuel must be injected, and combustion must occur in the milliseconds before the superheated air is expelled out the nozzle. Managing the extreme pressures and temperatures inside the engine is an enormous design challenge. But perhaps the most significant hurdle is guidance. The intense heat of hypersonic flight creates a plasma sheath, a cloud of ionized, electrically charged particles that surrounds the vehicle. This plasma can block or distort radio frequency signals, an effect known as plasma blackout. This can sever communication links and blind the weapon's own onboard radar, making it incredibly difficult to guide the weapon to its target in the final moments. Overcoming this is a closely guarded secret. But theories include using sophisticated inertial navigation systems that are periodically updated by satellites, finding specific frequencies or windows in the plasma that signals can penetrate, or using terminal seekers that don't rely on radar, such as infrared sensors that look for the target's heat signature. Defending against such a threat is just as challenging. Existing missile defense systems, designed to counter the predictable arcs of ballistic missiles, are largely obsolete. The first problem is just detection. The low, flat trajectories of hypersonic weapons keep them below the horizon of ground-based radars for most of their flight, giving defenders precious little warning time. To solve this, the US is developing a new space-based sensor layer called the Hypersonic and Ballistic Tracking Space Sensor, or HBTSS. This will be a constellation of satellites using advanced infrared sensors to provide birth-to-death tracking of a hypersonic threat against the cold background of space. Once detected, you have to intercept it. Hitting a target that's moving at over a mile per second and maneuvering unpredictably is an immense challenge. The U.S. Missile Defense Agency is developing the Glide Phase Interceptor, or GPI. Designed to be launched from Navy destroyers, it will fly into the upper atmosphere, release a kill vehicle, and maneuver to collide with the enemy glider. Looking further ahead, some believe the ultimate defense may lie in directed energy weapons. A high-powered laser could, in theory, engage a target at the speed of light, focusing intense energy on the vehicle's skin or control surfaces, causing it to overheat and fail. The emergence of these weapons isn't just a technological shift. It's a strategic one with profound consequences. For decades, stability between nuclear powers has rested on the concept of mutually assured destruction, where no side could launch a nuclear first strike without guaranteeing its own annihilation. Hypersonic weapons, with their ability to execute a rapid, precise, and potentially uninterceptable strike against a nation's command centers or nuclear silos, threaten to undermine this stability. This could create a use-it-or-lose-it pressure in a crisis, dramatically increasing the risk of preemptive strikes and accidental war. A major complicating factor is that many of these systems are dual-capable, meaning they can carry either a conventional or a nuclear warhead. If a nation detects an incoming hypersonic missile, it may have only minutes to determine what kind of warhead it carries. The inability to distinguish between a conventional and a nuclear attack could lead to a catastrophic miscalculation. This hypersonic competition is already fueling a new arms race, an action-reaction cycle that diverts enormous resources and creates a world bristling with ever more lethal and rapid response weaponry. It compresses decision-making timelines for world leaders to perilous new lows. The dawn of the hypersonic age represents a pivotal moment. These weapons, born from decades of research at the frontiers of science, are reshaping the battlefield and the strategic calculations of global powers. The Mach 5 gambit has been played, and the world is now scrambling to understand the rules of this terrifying new game, a future where the speed of war is measured not in hours, but in minutes.